This week on Got Clutter, Get Organized, my guest is Mackenzie Scott, and she is a certified professional organizer. And we're going to be talking about the mental and physical benefits of organization. So you definitely want to stay tuned for this conversation. Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. And you know how I get when I have a fellow professional organizer. I get excited. So today we have Mackenzie Scott, and she is a certified professional organizer from Mission to Organize. So Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun already.
I'm happy you feel that way. So today we're going to talk about really like the benefits, and those benefits are mental and physical benefits of really organizing and getting organized. And I think sometimes that gets kind of lost in everybody trying to make their closets and cabinets just look like perfection. So, but before we get into that discussion, I really want to know what made you decide to be a professional organizer.
Well, I gotta say, if I had known that being a professional organizer was a career when I was little, like firefighter, doctor, dentist, I would have been, ooh, I want to be that one. My mom said I used to line up my dolls instead of playing with them.
That's
I was like the oldest kid in my family. When I go, and there were other kids, I'd go to my parents' friend's house and I'd be like organizing their pantry, like as my like activity. So I think I always knew, but I didn't know that it was a thing, as they say. So as
hmm
soon as I knew
hmm
it was a thing, I kind of dropped all of my other plans. I'm an anomaly. This is my first career, so I have an advertising degree, but as soon as I was done with my internship and I was in a big city and was Googling and found some other, POs to hang out with, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, see you later, corporate. So I love moving around, love being on my feet. I love helping people. Um, and I love doing what we do. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a degree in fashion merchandising, so
Ooh,
yeah,
sounds like
yeah,
fun.
yeah. But like you said, once you find that what you really love doing, you just kind of just go right for it.
Yeah.
So, can you share like what are some of the benefits of really the mental and physical benefits of really being organized? Because like I said, people want their closet, they want all the cute little labels, which is important, but there's other benefits as well.
Yeah, and that stuff can be fun if you're that type of personality and you have the time to maintain those things. Like this is something that is like also kind of my craft for me personally. So like those little detailed touches are like fun for me at the end of the day when I like have time and I'm like, oh, I want to put all the little things in it, whatever, and label it perfectly. But it's really about what it's really about, and what really makes you feel better and function better is how much efficiency it creates and how much less anxiety you have because you can find things and you're not even I've even run into people, even my spouse, that it's like the fear of not being able to find something and the anxiety that comes with that, or the fear of losing something important, or not knowing where it is, or not having a plan for like how it's kept safely so that it maintains its quality. So I think the sheer efficiency that being organized creates, the like ease of mind that it creates, and then like physically in your vision, just lack of clutter and mess, I think provides a lot of visual peace for people. And that's different for everybody. Some people like see a pile and they're good. And others, don't even know that they're getting anxiety from that until things are clear. And I also like to point out, I would not call myself a minimalist. Me and
That
my
is
husband have a lot of stuff and we love our stuff. Like we have a lot of stuff, and I color code my knickknacks, and that creates visual peace because then like all the yellow is together. But there's a lot of stuff in there. um, so I think those are kind of the big hitters, and I could talk about that all day. So I don't use restraint, but I think those are the big things: the efficiency, the ease of finding things, the making your life simpler. so that you can do the things that you're great at or that you want to do, and that bring you even more excitement. Sometimes it's the facilitator. Organization can be the facilitator.
And you're right about that because, like you said, sometimes people don't, that pile doesn't bother them, but then others don't realize that every time they come home, maybe they can't sit in that favorite chair and they don't realize that all of that stress and anxiety is a result that, hey, I just can't relax.
Yeah,
Or when you wake up in the morning and you see a pile on your night table
yeah,
or even on your dresser, and it's like, those little things, like you said, can really help you feel at ease, and I know you've heard it from clients as well. It's like, okay, you come in there and you do what you do, and then they see the result and they were like, what? Yeah, it's like they can breathe.
oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing for everybody.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that you're not a minimalist because neither am I. I mean, I got stuff, okay? Once Christmas time come, those cute little glasses come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. So like for somebody who is just thinking, okay, I understand now the mental and the physical. How do I get from where I am to maybe even just starting?
yeah.
Because both you and I both know it's a process. It's not something that sometimes can happen overnight.
No,
It's
it
a
doesn't.
process. But how can you just like maybe take that first step? It's like, what do I do?
Yeah. I always like to start small.
Hmm.
Even with me and my big team, you
Okay.
still start small. You
Hmm.
start with one thing. You can't start 8 projects, which is very tempting. you know so start small, especially if you are one person trying to get organized. You're not hiring somebody, you're just you have a finite amount of time. Probably start small to set yourself for success up for success by starting small. A good kind of way to start that will hopefully get you slightly more instant gratification, because you need a little of that when you're by yourself. It's not going to be fast. It didn't get that way, whatever the mess is. And whatever mess is different for everyone. The mess could be the whole house and the mess could be one pile. But thinking of something that's bothering you, if you can identify something that is bothering you or a problem that you're having, like maybe it's I can never find my keys, or like, oh my god, when I lose my keys it drives me absolutely crazy. So maybe you backtrack from that problem of I can't find my keys. Maybe not in the moment when you can't find your keys, but like, I consistently can't find my keys. Okay, when I come in this door, let me put up a hook for my keys right here. Or I have a hook for my keys, but there's a pile of things in front of it and I can't reach to get to the hook because there's stuff in the way, or like I'm overwhelmed because there's shoes right there or whatever. So like, okay, maybe we start with the pile of the shoes by the door, because that's going to help us get to our key hook. And then we say, okay, do I wear these? Assess the items. Are they things that you use? Are they things that you love? Are they things like, what is the frequency? Like maybe you have 20 shoes by your door that you don't use every day, and you can just leave 2 pairs there, and now you can get to your keys. So, you know, I could go through the whole organizing process and how that works, but y'all can look that up. But like what I'm thinking, what I think is helpful is like, think of something that is bothering you or that's a barrier and a problem that you are trying to solve, like an efficiency problem you're trying to solve. If this is a space organizing thing, and see how you can help facilitate yourself better to fix that problem. And that might be a good place to start, because then hopefully you get some gratification, and you're not just like, I want to redo my whole bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't get that way in a day, and it's not gonna undo in a day, and you're gonna get probably a little stuck trying to do that whole project.
Hmm. And I like what you said, start small, because a client reached out to me and she said, Janet, she said, I know this may sound silly. She's like, but I've got all of these post-it notes. I've got a pile on my kitchen counter. Can you kind of come over and maybe we sort through those? She said, because that would really make me feel good. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So, we just laid them out, figured out, okay, did you do this? You need to put on your to-do list. Do you
Neat.
need this? No, I don't need this. You bought this. Yeah. And it just like slowly. And then that was something. And I like what you said, start small. Cause like you said, some people, and I'm sure they reached out to you. Oh my goodness. I want to do the whole house, by the end of the year. And they're calling you after Thanksgiving. And you're like, okay, just wait.
And it's like, okay, yes, me and my giant team,
Yeah.
do that if you're calling me enough time, I can schedule you for enough hours. But like when I walk in the door, I'm not thinking like, I'm like, okay, what room is bothering you the most, or like what's the
Yep.
epicenter? First, we got
Mm-hmm.
the kitchen,
Yep.
and when I walk into the kitchen, I then narrow in more. Okay, first I'm going to clear this counter and
Yep.
sort, and then I'm going to clear this counter, and then I'm going to. So yeah, you can have a big picture thought, but you gotta.
Yep. You gotta. Yep. Yep. You have to gotta break it down. Break it down to
Yeah,
something little. Something little.
I love that post-its. Yeah, like what is your post-its, people? What
Yeah.
is your post-it pile?
Yeah, yeah. She just said, Janet, it's the posters, it's the posters. I said, yeah, I saw them last time I was there. I said, but I just, thought you were going to, so that's why I just made sure they were all in one place. So, and she's like, yeah, she's like, but now I need you to come back. I said,
And
okay.
that's the
Yeah,
first step. Collect them
yeah,
all. Maybe
hmm,
before they were all over the kitchen.
yeah, yeah.
And now you got a pile. Let's start.
Yeah, yeah, and that's right. So, Mackenzie, and all that you do, for your clients, your family, probably community, how do you stay organized, whether it's like your home or even your time in your life? How do you do it? Because people always want to know, like, how do you organizers do it? Do you have a special, tool or thing? But how do you do it?
I'd say that the number one, well, I was going to say the number one thing. I think there's two number one things. I
Okay.
think that one is you have to be committed to maintenance. Organizing is not a one time thing, right? I know you know this. Organizing is not a one time thing. You might set up a system one time in a year, a couple of years, or whenever your life hasn't had some major changes, right? That you can set up a system and that system's going to work for a while. But you've got to, if you organize the kitchen, you got to put the things away. So to me, figuring out what part one is figuring out what your maintenance frequency is for that thing. The power of a 10-minute tidy at the end of the day, once you've hit that reset and things are right, you can pretty much, if you spend 10 minutes every day, like putting back, and you kind of start getting in the habit of like putting back as you do things, like people talk about cooking, like clean as you go kind of philosophy. But if you hit that at the end of every day and find a way to either you do that at the end of every day, or if that is not feasible, you need to figure out how to ask for help. And it needs to be getting everybody that lives with you in with you on it, or and if it's you and the cat or the dog, do you have the resources? You can hire somebody that's in there to help whatever every day, or if however long it takes you to reset is too long, then you might have too much to reset for your lifestyle. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to scale back the number of things that you have so that your frequency isn't as high. So I think that's the main thing, is having a system for how frequently you reset, whether that's your organizing of your physical space or your time. My husband and I, we've been together for 10 years, and I feel like we've just now gotten into the routine of Sunday. We sit with our little planners. Okay, here's what I'm doing every day of the week. Here's what you're doing every day of the week. How do they coincide? How can we support each other? And that is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I know how many people know that they should have like a weekly meeting. Have a weekly meeting, because first we have a weekly meeting by ourselves, right? And then we talk to each other. So everybody needs to be having a weekly meeting with themselves and a check-in. So I think those things it's so crucial, is what is the maintenance and how can you ask for help? Because none of us are superheroes. How can you delegate? How can you ask for help? How can you get an accountability buddy? I've heard you talk about accountability buddies. How do you gotta
Yeah. Yeah.
start there.
Yeah. I mean, I love your 10-minute tidies. And one of the things I had to discipline myself to do is not put things down, put them away.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, I put the pen down, I'll get back. No, put it away, Janet.
It's just
To just put it away, put stuff away. But also, I do, I'm single, so I do have those weekly meetings with myself. And
yeah.
I go over my schedule, just making sure that not only do I service my clients, but what about Janet? Am I taking care of Janet? Am I doing my walks? Am I, connecting with a friend, even if it's just via Zoom phone call, or maybe we can meet for coffee or tea or somewhere. So
Exactly.
yeah. So, but I like that how you do separate and then you come together. So I hope everyone watching and listening heard that, because that is key. That can really help you really connect with other members of your family, but also not exhaust yourselves, because then you're thinking everybody should be to the over here and then everybody's over there. So, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And somebody said that they started doing it because they got tired of their child calling them the day of, maybe an hour before.
Mm,
Mom, I got practice, mom. Who's going to take me and pick me up? When were you going to tell me?
yeah. When was we discussed?
Yeah,
Exactly. And that sets such good like habits for every part of your life.
oh
It's
yeah.
the communication is key.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I started this. I mean, my godchildren are young adults now in their 20s, but when they were little, they knew that they actually had to, like, okay, Aunt Janet, what's your schedule like? So, that's good as well. But I do want to just ask you, how can people connect with you as well as, you know, hire you or your team?
Exactly. Sorry, my audio cut out there for just a second, but how can people hire me or my team?
Yes.
So, you can find us all over social media. We have an award winning YouTube channel that we've been posting a video every month for the last 10 years plus. So, how to this, how to that, all over the place, since we're mission to organize. And you'll see me in there a lot. If you're dying to know what the rest of my house looks like, a lot of the videos are me in my house doing things. So, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website, mission with the number 2organize.com. And you can book your appointment there. You can call us anytime. Our number's on our website. So feel free, hit me up. I will probably be one of the people answering the phone. So you want to chat, call us up. Yeah, we love sharing resources. So, which is why we love doing things like this and why we generate so much content to help set people up for success. So check it out and get inspired. And we want to hear people's success stories. So, or challenges, we're here.
And of course, listeners and those watching, I will have all of the links to Mission to Organize on the show page so you can connect with them, their website, or all of their social media platforms. So, Mackenzie, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. It has been a true pleasure having a
Um,
conversation with a fellow organizer.
this is amazing. It's so great to hang out with you, Janet, anytime.
I hope you enjoyed this week's conversation with Mackenzie Scott, and I would love to know, what area are you going to focus on in regards to your mental and your physical, and those benefits that you can gain from getting organized? Is it that pile of post-it notes? Is it the shoes by the door? Or maybe it's just a pile that is in the chair that you want to sit in and be comfortable. So please feel free to share. And of course, if you want, please click the link below so you can listen to the entire audio version of this conversation. And of course, until next time, have a clutter